And we are live. JLR investigates. We got a situation unfolding in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. A building collapsed, and authorities there and rescue officials are searching for a trapped worker. And this is at the 300 block of Chestnut Street. East Chestnut Street. It used to be the site of the old correctional center. Magnolia, come up in the chat, talk with me. What in the world is going on here, people? They are rescuing someone that is trapped right now in Louisville, Kentucky. They're saying a construction worker is trapped. So we're going to monitor this situation. And this comes, we just talked about a building explosion just recently in Louisville. So what in the world is going on in Louisville, folks, with all these buildings? Come on in. Come on in. So I'm trying to get some information. Apparently this used to be an old the old correctional center there at the 300 block of East Chestnut Street, and it was being demolished to make way for a future site called Lumid Commons. The official said the man was on site with 5 other workers when he fell 10 to 20 feet. When he fell, rubble then fell on top of him and he was pinned. So now we have a rescue operation. Come on in the chat, Magnolia. Let's talk. Let's just get it. Come on in and we're going to look around and talk. Man, this is crazy. So we're going to monitor the situation, folks. But, someone trapped, crazy times, man. Hello, Magnolia.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So they apparently been at this, for a few hours now, it looks like.
Yeah, I think so.
I see a lot of people coming in the chat. So I'm going to try to get some information, try to see if they've given any updates or press conferences in relation to this. It looks like they're going to be in there for a while.
Yeah, I can't really tell exactly when this happened. Looks like it was around noon today.
So this site here used to be a correctional center, a prison. It's all between, it looks like it's between Preston Street and Floyd Street, East Chestnut 300 block. It's just east of I-65. So who are the workers? Who's actually handling this?
Well, this is the second thing we've covered in Louisville this week.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's some interesting. They're saying the worker that's trapped does not speak English. So they have to communicate with this trapped worker via a translator. That's interesting. Who's working on these projects? Fire Chief Brian O'Neill said around 2 p.m. that the rescue could take hours and it will be a very slow process because of how easy the debris can shift around. Looks like a 9/11 site there. Mayor was on the scene, Craig Greenberg. He thanked first responders and acknowledged it's been a trying week having this happen just right after the massive explosion at a nearby factory. Your sound was a little bit strange, Magno. You got a little echoing or something.
So is this related to the incident the other day?
No, I think the mayor's just citing that, Louisville just dealt with another tragedy just the other day with the building explosion. This is a whole different, separate incident where a worker, I guess, fell, and then when he fell, all this rubble fell on him. So it's probably like all type of loose stuff around there, and he fell. They say he fell 10 to 12 feet, and when he fell, rubble then fell on top of him, rubble, and he was pinned.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, people say they're hearing a humming on your end, Magnolia. All right, I'm here. Yeah, so we're trying to find out. I'm going to try to find out some information. Are you there, Magnolia?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, did they give a press conference? We're gonna see exactly what is going on here, and who's this construction company? Man Trapped. It's called Loumed. Loomed. Loumed. That is the name of the future building there. Loomed Commons. And according to an article that was in August of 2024, it's saying former jail to be demolished, bringing new life to the Louisville Medical and Education District. A former jail is being demolished to bring new life to the Louisville Medical and Educational District, or LOOMED District. The project, which is supported by $1.4 million in city funding, includes demolishing the former Community Correctional Center, which has been vacant since 2020. It's going to feature greenscapes with tree canopies and native plants. It will be well lit, well seated areas, and a pavilion. There's going to be a dedicated area for food trucks and other dining options, said Mayor Craig Greenberg. 4 partners came together to create this: the University of Louisville Health, the University of Louisville Health Science Center, Norton Healthcare, and Jefferson Community and Technical College. So it's kind of like a park, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what this was supposed to be. I mean, everyone's reporting it as a structure collapse on East Chestnut Street, and crews arrived just before noon. But I mean, I guess it's something that they were in the process of constructing, and this accident happened. The Kentucky Louisville Fire Department said rescue crews are still actively working on the scene. We've made strong progress with our efforts. Individual is still in continuous communication. No set time frame on when extrication will be complete.
Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like they could possibly be there. I mean, there's some other feeds up, right? Other news. There's a few feeds up. It looks like they got lights. You can see them there, lights. I mean, it's starting to get dark, which probably makes the situation even more harder than the day. You know, it looks like they're in here for the long haul, or as long as it takes. They're communicating with a guy via a translator. He doesn't speak English.
Yeah, and just the other day they had that explosion at the food coloring plant. How far is it from that?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, let me see on the maps. So the food coloring plant happened on was it Payne Street, 1901 Payne Street. So
Well, because
let
this
me
is the reason I said that is because I recognized in one of the earlier tweets from the fire department, they were saying that Payne Street would be where the media staging area would be for this.
Interesting. So Payne Street is from this location to the other building collapse, according to Google Maps, 2.6 miles. So about 2.5. There's multiple routes, but 2.5 to 3 miles away. Pretty far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty far. But it looks like they're going to be working here. Now, let me try to get some more information. So apparently this was going to be partners with the University of Health departments and different health facilities and hospitals, health, collectively with the support of $1.4 million in city funding. We're going to keep a greenscape with tree canopies and native plants, a well-lit seated areas, and a pavilion. So this place was going to be like maybe like a park.
Yeah, here's an article from the Courier Journal. It seems like they have more information. They say Louisville Division of Fire crews are working to remove an individual who was trapped under building debris for hours following a demolition accident in the Phoenix Hill neighborhood. 6 workers were on site in the 300 block of East Chestnut Street when a man fell roughly 10 feet down into a void space around 11:40 a.m., causing rubble and debris to fall down and trap him. He's breathing and communicating with first responders, and the extent of injuries is unknown. Once they can clear enough debris to safely access him, first responder will go in there.
Can they get food and water to him?
Yeah, they're saying the workers on site are employees of a city contracted company. Workers ceased operations and reported the incident immediately after it happened, and rescue crews were on scene about 3 minutes later. It's the site of the former Community Correctional Center, which is currently in the process of being demolished to make way for Loumed Commons. Loumed. Oh, I think that's supposed to be
Louisville Med.
Loumed.
Yeah, Lumed.
Loumed Commons, an urban park concept that will be part of the wider Loumed district, an ongoing development project aimed at housing several medical campuses near downtown Louisville.
All right, so let's find out who the construction company is, shall we? Let's go do some sleuthing. It should be they gotta be putting the name of the construction company, right?
Yeah, this has been a crazy week for Louisville.
Yeah, so I'm searching around a little bit about for the construction company name. If anyone knows the name of the construction company, Magnolia, if you see that in the chat, please share. If anyone knows the name of the construction company, because then we go into have the construction company have had problems before in the past and whatnot. So we're going to do a deep dive. But, you know, we want to help this guy gets out alive, whoever this is. Who'd they hire to do this?
Yeah, it just says the workers are employees of a city contracted company.
City contracted. No big contract? All right. Yeah, they're just identifying it as a city contracted company. I want to know the name. We want to know the names, folks. Employees of a city contract company. They ceased operation, reported the incident immediately. You know, this situation and looking this reminds me of footage when you see those like trapped miners, like mining coal mines. But we're trying to get a little information as it comes in to see what, you know, they could be pulling this guy out, which will be interesting. I think that's why the media is there to get that footage if he gets pulled out. Wow. They're going to be working into the night, maybe. Let's hope for a miracle too. So he's what?
The company is called JLL, Louisville Commercial Real Estate Services.
JLL. Say that one more time, Magnolia.
It says JLL, Louisville Commercial Real Estate Services. So basically, this is part of a new urban park initiative. It's a $1.4 million project in the city. that's supposed to bring green spaces, pedestrian-friendly areas to the heart of the downtown medical and education district. The demolition of the existing structure should be complete by the end of this year, and LUMED anticipates acquiring the property at that time. JLL, Louisville Commercial Real Estate Services, is managing both the demolition of the Community Correctional Center and the construction of LUMED Commons, along with architecture, engineering, and design firm Gresham Smith, who has spearheaded the design. So that is the company that's managing the demo, and also they'll be there for the construction work too.
All right. So right now I'm looking in. I'm just gonna put JLL lawsuit to see if they have issues. What's this thing? JLL. JLL says it takes 18 million loss in multifamily loan fraud. I think they were a victim of loan fraud.
They're saying this is supposed to be an open park-like setting with a lush tree canopy and native plants, well-lit spaces, a dedicated area for food trucks, seating areas, shade structures, a pavilion structure, and public art installations.
Long Island, New York Islander star Patrick LaFontaine once sued JLL executives for ghosting him on a $2.8 billion project. You ever hear the hockey player LaFontaine? I think he played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think he played for a lot of. No, he played for the New York Islanders. So there's a big scandal where he I'm just trying to get an understanding of the company, and this was just filed in August 2024.
Oh, wow, that's recent.
Here, I'll send you this article, Magnolia. It's awfully interesting whenever we see these accidents and disasters. The companies involved are always involved with scandals. Not saying it's a bad company, JLL, but Pat LaFontaine, the hockey legend, is suing them right now. And pray for the safety of all the Louisville fire officials there, rescue team. I see Louisville Fire. I see mostly Louisville Fire people there. We were just in Louisville a few weeks ago, Magnolia, remember?
Yep.
We went to Churchill Downs.
Yeah, well, and yeah, we were in Kentucky for several other things too, and we were saying at the time, it seems like stuff's always happening in Kentucky.
Let me just make sure this JLL is like it's a national company with local offices, or is this a separate JLL, just a building? Is it the same? JLL has a web page and it just has multiple locations nationwide. I'm assuming it's the same, correct?
JLL Construction?
Yeah. Like they have an office in Louisville. I see a location address in Louisville, but also they have locations in many cities. So it's a national company with different offices. Properties, leasing, real estate, construction. JLL. Am I correct here? Or incorrect? Fill me in.
I'm looking at this article about the hockey player.
Yeah.
A stalled mega development on Long Island.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about this guy. Like, he falls in. Somebody just mentioned it. Is there tunnels under there? He just hit a spot where he just fell. Like, it
And
went
they said
down.
it's a 10 feet drop into a void. They call it a void space. But why is it taking this long? They've been there for over 5 hours.
Yeah, people are saying they're standing around. I do see buckets. I see ladders. What do we got? Where's our camera going? Camera's starting to move, folks. We're understanding of what's going on here in Louisville. A building collapse, a urgent rescue, and a construction worker trapped underneath the rubble. Sure, it will come back shortly. There it is.
So this lawsuit looks like they're alleging that they just basically abandoned this major project.
That's
How can they just abandon a whole project like that? It says it was a $2.8 billion midway crossing project in Ronkonkoma. And the project was just left in limbo. What?
I mean, their whole portfolio is involved with these multi-million dollar, almost billion-dollar projects. They've been involved with lots of litigation. Is JLL mean Jones Lang LaSalle? Is that
Jones LaSalle?
Yeah, is that the full name of JLL?
I'm not sure.
Let's see. Yeah. Dude, they got offices all over the place. Not just Louisville. This one here in Louisville apparently is their offices in Louisville at LaGrange Road, New LaGrange Road. I see if there's any other names affiliated with, and see if I'm going to see if the mayor also given any type of press conference. You know, the mayor was out there before on the other one pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, they came out and did an interview, or they did like a press conference right out there on the street during the other explosion incident.
2 people died, by the way.
Yeah, there ended up being, I think, 2 people who didn't make it. They actually, I think one person died in the hospital, but they found another. They ended up finding another person later after the fact that was unaccounted for, and so they went back in and found this other person that had died in the explosion. So we didn't know about that person at the time when we were covering it. Don't matter. Thank you for joining.
The governor spoke about that other one. I'm looking for a press conference. What do we know what the cause of it was? I mean, they're saying employees described lots of leaks before the plant exploded. Well, this is an embarrassment right now for Louisville. Two big building collapse, explosion type incidents in 48 hours. Within 48 hours.
Yeah, and it looks like it's both of these were in pretty busy areas of the city too. Yeah, so they're doing a demolition project for people that are just joining. So this was a correctional center that they are demolishing because they're going to build a new park for the city. And the workers were in there today, and something happened, and a worker fell into a hole, a 10-foot hole, and then rubble piled up on top of him.
Are these workers qualified to do the work? I have a lot of questions. Who are the workers? How much they get paid to do this? Has JLL, or if any other people were involved, have any other safety issues before in the past?
I mean, they're saying that when he fell into the void space, as they call it, him falling is what caused the rubble and debris to fall down on him. So it doesn't sound like there was some external factor. It's like he fell in the hole and then a bunch of stuff fell in with him.
Sounds like they didn't have the surrounding things secure. Don't you think? I don't know. I'm not an expert in this, so I do have a lot of questions, though. I mean, but they're supposed to be the experts that know how to do this type of stuff. 11:40 a.m. it happened. But
that's what the Courier Journal reported, that the worker fell 10 feet down into a void space around 11:40 a.m., causing rubble and debris to fall down and trap him.
So, assuming if they're contacting him and they can reach him, they can give him water. I mean, the key here is to calm the person down, right? I mean, but to get him water, I'm going to see Magnolia on this clip here. I don't know if we could get this off the. I'm sending you a link right here, Magnolia, and they gave a press conference with this link. I don't know if we can. Let me see if I can find the mayor update. Do we get the mayor? We speak a little bit. Getting dark. Sun is down.
Mm-hmm.
Worker probably has family, right? Fire crews are working to extract a man from a construction site after he fell. Crews are demolishing a city-owned building, the jail. Mayor's on the scene, though.
Oh, he's there right now?
I believe there's some clips of him there monitoring the situation. I mean, you would think he'd probably stay there for a while at least.
Yeah, I think I found the clip. Hang on a second.
All right, we're gonna get a clip up, folks. Good work. Let's listen in and see what these individuals have to say.
Louisville Commons. This is the former Community Correctional Center that just about a year ago we announced the demolition of. This is a city project that we are demolishing, a city-owned building that is going to be turned into a park. Right now there's one individual who is currently being rescued. It is going to take a while, but here to give a briefing on what occurred and what's taking place right now is Louisville Fire Chief Brian O'Neill.
So here's what we have so far. We have, there were about 6 workers that were on site working on demolition. One of those workers at about 11:40 fell into a void space, and when they fell, a lot of rubble and debris came down on top of them and they were pinned. Immediately, they ceased operations, called 911. We received the call, it was dispatched, and we had companies on scene within 3 minutes. As soon as we got on scene, we set up, we realized what we're dealing with is what we would call confined space rescue or trench rescue. A little bit different than structural collapse because nothing fell. This is something that a person fell into. We have all the experts that do this on a regular basis train on this type of thing. So they set up, the individual that's in there is talking to us. He is Spanish speaking only, but Captain Ramirez from Rescue 11 Quint 7 is bilingual and is speaking to him right now. They have got, this is a very, very slow process. So you need to understand this might take another hour or 3 to gradually, because every time you shift anything, that can cause other things to happen within all that debris pile that they're moving to get to this person. Louisville EMS is on site working with us as well. They are going to provide a paramedic. Once we clear enough debris around his chest and arms so that we can start providing medical care, oxygen, intravenous fluids if we need, that'll happen. So we will we'll put a harness on that medic and get them to him as soon as there's enough space to do so. We have multiple firefighters, about 5 different companies that are on scene. Reason being, if you're thinking it's, well, it's one person, one area, we have to constantly move people in and out to make sure that we've got fresh bodies, fresh hands working on this incident. Again, let's see if make sure I get on my notes here. I think that's it. If there are any questions, we'll... yeah, this is a contractor. These aren't city employees. This is a contractor. As I mentioned, there were about 6 workers that were working on site. But again, they ceased operations as soon as this happened, called us immediately. We got here in about 3 minutes.
Does he indicate that he's hurt? Is he okay?
So we do not know the extent of the injuries, but again, we are at least able to communicate a little bit with him, but he is pinned. It is a precarious situation.
How far down is he?
So from where he was, he went down about maybe 10, 12 feet. But we're to him right now. We're clearing things around him, talking to him. But again, this is a very, very slow process.
And you mentioned making sure there were lots of people on standby. Is that just to keep everybody fresh, like you said, or how does that process for rescue work?
So it's several things. One, it's to keep people fresh, but also it is a very slow and tedious process. You have to shore up the area and then very slowly move down, clear things, shore up to make sure no additional debris falls onto that person. So that if you think like a lever, I'm sorry, if you think like a lever, you know, you tip one side, but then it's something happens on the other side. We just have to be very cautious about slowly moving this person out.
Do you know for sure there's no other person down there? With the mast, what is that holding up right now?
With our ladder?
Yes.
Our ladder, yeah, that's holding up some of the shoring. Yeah,
You know for sure there was only one person?
one person. That's what we've been told so far is there's just the one worker.
What happens to the body in a situation like this? You know, is there enough oxygen going down?
He is breathing. He is talking to us. A lot of that depends on the way they fall, what falls. There's no one way that things like this happen.
Right, because the debris that you're inhaling as well, right?
Right, and it's also pinning the person. So yeah, it's extremely dangerous.
Are we confident we're going to be able to pull this man out alive?
I can't say that with 100% assurity, but we're doing everything we can. We've got very highly skilled people working on it.
What time was this initially reported?
It happened at 11:40, called in at 11:41, dispatched 11:42. We were on scene 11:45.
This has been a very busy couple of days. We just saw the explosion. How is the crews, the fire crews working through all of this?
This is what they were hired to do. This is what they trained to do. They're ready 24/7, and nobody wants it to happen, but if it does, they're prepared.
You know, on that note, I just want to conclude by saying that for all the reasons you just mentioned, this has been a challenging week for Louisville Fire Department, for all first responders here in Louisville. Yet another example of the heroism of all of them, and a giant thanks on behalf of the entire city of Louisville to every first responder, all the men and women of Louisville Fire Department, and all the first responders. As we continue to get more information about this, we'll continue to keep everybody up to date. Thanks a lot, and we'll be back in touch.
Thanks.
All right. We're going to take you back live to the scene. Interesting. He didn't give a guarantee that the person was going to come out alive, which is very interesting. What's the name of the employee? How old is he? This is a live look right now back at the scene. 300 block of East Chestnut Street. which is the old Community Correctional Center, the jail.
Yeah, I think there was some confusion in the chat. This was not a building collapse. This was a fall. So they're in the process of doing demolition in this area, and somehow he fell down into the hole that they're in right now. And a bunch of rubble and everything fell in on top of him. It's just one person, as far as we know, that's trapped. No, this was this used to be a jail. It used to be a correctional center. And they're tearing everything down because they're planning to develop a city park here. So they're in the early stages of demolishing, and then they're going to, once all of this is cleared out, they're supposed to start construction on the new park that'll probably take at least another year.
They received at a call 1.4 million, right, to do this. Now what's going on here? Oh, so they got bird's eye view. The media here, as the sun's going down, I guess they got a bird's eye view. Interesting. I'll send you another feed, Magnolia. If this one, there's a few media outlets there. Let's hope he's okay. There you go. So what the media is, there's no choppers in the sky. The media is basically perched up on a look like a it looks like a parking garage.
Yeah, a lot of the media is reporting this as a collapsed building. So what that refers to is they're talking about the rubble and everything that collapsed down on him.
They say a structure collapse. Some are saying building collapse. I'm looking in the things here. We could change the title. I mean, if it's not technically a building, but it's a structure collapse. Here, I'll do this because some people are saying, hey, it's not a building, but if you Google it right now, you're seeing they're describing it in all different terms here. Plus,
because it's being demolished, so it's a partial building, and already because they're just demolishing it, and whatever happened that caused him to fall down in there, it triggered other rubble and debris to fall down too. So that's why it's taking them so long. They have to clear away all the debris and the rubble before they can actually get to him.
Yeah, ABC 7, putting it out there as a collapsed building. I just changed the title to structure collapse.
Yeah.
Some other media outlets saying worker trapped under construction site, construction worker trapped. But we got the general gist of this.
Yeah, it seems like No Eyes has probably the best guess so far. No Eyes said maybe the floor collapsed.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. And
yeah.
Went down. It could be like multiple floors below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, 10 feet. Yeah, 10 feet. So that would be an entire floor.
Yeah,
one level down. Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know, Shaquille. People like to nitpick the titles for some reason.
Yeah, some people came at us yesterday when we were doing Spirit Airlines. When we said Spirit, or what did we do? What did we say?
Oh
We were
no,
talking
you
stock
would think
market
it was
crash, and people were implying it was like a plane crash, and we didn't ever even said it was a plane crash. But people were like, "You need to change the title right now."
yeah, Spirit crashed yesterday completely. They crashed. What did it end up? What did it end up at? Actually, their stock price.
I
It
don't
was
know.
$1.58 last I looked.
Let me look.
$1.32.
Yeah, I mean that's a significant drop where it used to be like $15 a share.
Yeah.
I would assume if someone dropped 10 feet, they're gonna have some broken bones. You think?
Mm, he might. Yeah.
So they're standing around, but there's also people right there, coming up and down in there. I think they're just concerned about other debris falling on them. I mean, they have enough personnel to do shift changes if need be. Get the guy some water and food at least, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he gets water and stays hydrated. They have time. I mean, the only thing, I mean, for me, I would start panicking. You ever go in one of those things at the hospital? They put you in one of those circle, they do like an X-ray on you, and they put you in, and it does all those weird sounds and everything like that. Try being in there for 10 hours like that. Like, some people are claustrophobic, or some people can't take being in confined spaces. Plus, you're worrying about, you know, it possibly collapsing. You probably got little trickles of debris and dirt coming on around you and everything like that. And I'm all right. Yeah. The MRI's got the. It's like, get me out of here. It's like, get me out of here. But, this guy, maybe they gave this guy some little bit of calming medication or something to kind of keep. I would have all types of anxiety and everything. I'd be scared being in there. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd probably be freaking out. Susan in the chat said about the other building, the explosion the other day. She's
Mm-hmm.
saying that neighbors are not allowed to remove debris, and they said the city would do it, but it would take 4 to 6 weeks to do it.
Really?
So, yeah, it looks like there's an issue with that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Louisville's in the light.
Well, yeah, that situation the other day, it was a literal explosion, and it was over with. It seemed like they were like, "Oh, we're good, we got it under control," so fast. And they were talking about an ammonia leak, and they were telling people to shelter in place, and then it was like all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, we're good."
Everything's lifted. The roads are back open.
I was like, "What?" Normally, when stuff like that happens, explosions, it goes on and on for days, usually, especially when there's chemicals involved.
Also, too, the scanner was like mass casualty event.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, the media pumped out that, they were insisting that, or they were applying that there was lots of people trapped. See, we go with the information that's put out there until we look into it more,
Yeah, but I think they had altogether, it was like 11 or 12 people that ended up being brought out of there, and they were taken to the hospital. Like, I mean, it all happened so fast. They were all at the hospital, and But it wasn't until later, like the next day, they said that actually 2 people died.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. I heard after the fact it was so it might be in the same situation as here, you know. Well, I mean, a lot of events like this after the fact they announce certain more people died than you know. So a lot of times they also say that more people are missing and died. And they have this number and then it trickles down.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to wait for the information to be out there. This is live, folks. Live right now. Let's see if I can get more info. It's like they're going to be. I have a feeling they'll pull this guy out soon.
Me too.
I think they're going to pull him out. There's a
Well, also,
circle. There's a circle thing that comes in the feed occasionally. That's not us. That's the feed we're using. We're using one of these feeds from a media outlet to see what's going on.
they're just on the ground, so it's whatever the reception is. But you know, when he fell, if it was like Noah said, if it was like the floor gave way out from under him, if he fell, it's possible that some of the rubble under him could have maybe cushioned his fall a little bit, so maybe he wouldn't have been too injured. It sounds like he might be okay since he's able to communicate with them.
Might have something going on right here.
Yeah, what is
Look at
this?
that. Look at that. What is that? Oh no, that's like a pipe or something. I thought they had the guy's arm.
So the people that are joining, so this is a building that was in late stages of being demolished. So they're tearing this down so they can build a park in this area. And so these workers were there working on that demolition today, and something happened. A worker fell down 10 feet into a hole, and all this debris that you see fell down, and he's trapped. So they have to clear all this out to get to him. Yeah, baby Jessica. Yeah. Yep. Someone said flashing me back to baby Jessica. Yeah, I remember that too. Man, I was really young when that happened, but I remember everyone. How long was baby Jessica trapped?
Baby Jessica. Let me get baby Jessica. Is that the well?
Yeah, it was a long time. 58 hours. 58 hours. Almost 3 full days.
All right, we're going to show another feed right here. This is another one right here. We're showing you a few different feeds. We'll keep going back and forth. I would say 30 to 50 personnel were there. Fire and rescue.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pull somebody out. We're waiting to see.
Yeah, I don't think they have any sound on these either. I just can't hear it.
I also don't see like other. I don't see other on like media like doing reports there. As far as like actual reports, they're probably keeping a lot of people away from there too. You know.
Well, it looks really dangerous.
I'm sorry?
I said it looks really dangerous.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to get this guy out alive soon.
Yeah, Sally, that's exactly what happened. He fell down in this hole, and then the debris fell on top of him. So that's why it's taking so long. They said they could talk to him. He's communicating. He doesn't speak English, though, but they were able to speak to him.
Your mic's kind of fading in and out, Magnolia.
Yeah, baby Jessica, 1987. It's
Mic
been
check.
about 6 hours, Tammy. It's been, actually, we're going on about 7 hours. This happened around 11 something this morning.
Yeah, 11:40.
Yeah, so we're coming up on 7 hours.
Structure collapse, folks. AKA building. Will they pull someone out? They got all these tubes and everything. What's that do? Like suck all the debris out? Can we get some information from someone that knows about this process?
You talking about that big hose that they had?
Yeah, the hose. What exactly does that do?
Flippy, we're just watching them. They're hopefully going to rescue this trapped worker any minute. I hope it doesn't take that much longer. Yeah, a big section fell on him. So Barb said that is a vacuum. So that big black hose is a vacuum. So they can basically suck out all the debris and the dirt, things like that.
It's like getting all that debris out.
Yeah. No, somebody said we're playing dumb, acting like we don't know what it was. But no, we're actually not construction experts, believe it or not.
Sorry, folks. I don't know anything about buildings.
I'm not in the. Jonathan thought it was a pipe a few minutes ago, the black thing. It's at least I correctly identified it as a hose. We just didn't know what kind of hose, but yeah, it's a vacuum.
Oh, it's a vac, like a shop vac?
Yeah, so they can put that down there and hopefully that will help them speed up the process.
Get this man out so he can go back to his family.
Yeah, Angela said if it looks like a hose, it's a hose. Yep.
If it looks like a hose, it's a hose. Building collapse, folks.
It just looks so complicated.
Well, I mean, they can't risk having this thing fall in on this guy, right?
So those yellow beams, I guess those look like they put those there to stabilize in between the two areas to keep all that other stuff from falling in.
I'm gonna see if there's any new information that's put out there by Louisville.
Yeah, Shaquille, it looks very, very complex.
This is real time, folks. WHAS 11 saying trapped workers plural.
What?
Yeah, Louisville rescue crew spent hours getting to trapped workers.
Well, that's new information if that's accurate. We thought it was just one.
Here, I'll send you this clip. The news
Yeah, Lisa.
report.
Yeah, Lisa, believe it or not, this is a different building. It's close to where the other explosion happened. It's about, I think Jonathan said it's about 2 miles away. It's not that far, but it's not the same building. It just happens to be, we've had 2 major incidents in Louisville this week.
Yeah, Louisville's not getting the attention they really want. I'm sure of that. I mean, if you look at some of the Twitter pages, I mean, it looks like literally like it was a building. It had to have some sort of like bottom floor that was under the main ground for this to happen.
Yeah, basement.
A basement.
Well, it was a jail. It's a correctional center. So, yeah, this would be the basement that he fell into.
We might see the guy get pulled out alive soon. I think they'll get him alive regardless. I mean, at this point, unless something crazy happens. I'm curious to know who the worker is. I'm curious to know the ending to the story. Or is this not?
I think it's going to be successful.
Trapped. Oh man, and then just imagine being trapped in a hole at night. What's the weather out there? Let me see. Louisville weather. They could pump heat down to them too, right? 54 degrees. What is he wearing? 54 degrees is pretty cold once that sun goes down, going up into the upper 40s. Hi, Michael. Michael says he will be fine. It's just a slow work process. A slow, tedious process.
Fly in the Wall said maybe it was a secret tunnel under the jail that they didn't know about.
Oh, they have them. A lot of jails do.
Tunnel, yeah. And then John Doe said maybe it was an elevator shaft.
Interesting.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's definitely underground, and he fell smack dab into it.
I'm going to look up a little bit about the jail and see if I can find anything. Like maybe they have like blueprints. I mean, it's a community correctional. I mean, all I'm seeing is in August 2024, them talking about tearing it down.
Yeah, there's a bunch of articles about it being demolished and getting ready for this park.
Is it the same as the Metro Corrections? All right, the Community Correction Center, CCC.
Mhm.
I want to see when this was established, because it encompasses different Louisville Metro Department of Corrections. It got 3 locations: the main jail complex on 6th and Liberty, Community Corrections on Chestnut, and the adjacent Hall of Justice.
Yeah, this is community corrections.
And then the department also maintains a holding area, 126 bed facility on the 3rd floor of the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department. I wonder when this thing was built and why did it shut down? Safety issues. Was there talk about building a new jail? Let me see here. I'm trying to gather information, relevant information. The one jail was built in 1844 between Jefferson and 6th Street. Let's see.
Yeah, this is Community Correctional Center, 316 East Chestnut Avenue, or East Chestnut Street.
Was this built in the 1950s? Let's see. $440 beds on Community Correction Center, a minimum security facility on East Chestnut Street. Unclear when it
Ali said it was built in 1905.
1905. Nice. Thank you. 1905 is old. Live scene, folks. This is what we're seeing here. The information is not really any additional information out at this time. We're watching as they rescue a construction worker.
Yeah, if you look on Google Maps, you can, it's 316 East Chestnut Street. If you look on Google Maps, you can tell that this place hasn't been used in quite some time because it looks like it's abandoned. on Google Maps. There's like a lot of overgrowth outside. So they have other facilities, other correctional facilities in Louisville. So it seems like this one was like an old one that maybe was not even in use. And so they decided to uh, go ahead and demolish it for this project of the city park.
You know what's crazy, Magnolia? If you look on Google Maps, across the street from this place is a children's hospital.
Oh.
No, I always say that, like they, some places building jails next to schools and children's hospitals. You know, in Moscow, Idaho, the Latah County Jail, the courthouse is across the street from this high school.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was crazy because just imagine, if someone ever escaped, you're gonna run to the next building, a school nearby, children's hospital. And then University of Louisville Health Jewish Hospital is right by there. What's the other business right next to it? Let me see. Yeah, next door is a children. Next door is what is this place? Women's Health Clinic. Next door. What's Green Holly? It's all surrounded by medical buildings. It's probably why they're calling it LuMed. It's literally surrounded by hospitals. To the right, to the left, across the street. So they want to make it like a greens area, pavilion, food trucks. Probably for all the hospital employees to come out, take their break, take their lunch break, go sit under the pavilion, get a food truck, food. Tired of that hospital food. Tired of having to walk farther distance to get something to eat. What do you think? Or even patients or even patients' families. Place they can just go out there and instead of just sitting in a waiting room or sitting in a hospital, they can go outside and go over to this area here that's going to be built.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. It looks like the plans are probably a couple years it's going to take because they're saying that the first phase would be done towards the end of 2025. So I don't know how many phases there are, but it sounds like it's going to take quite a while. Yeah, revitalization in Louisville, Susan said.
A lot of cities do that, right? Nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we were in Springfield, Ohio? They were like doing the old factories and turning them into like food places and arts and
Where?
in Springfield, Ohio. Remember the downtown? They were all these like factories that were turned into like marketplaces.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what they're doing in all the cities. They're pretty much every city is being made to look the same these days. Same type of architecture, same designs, same types of green spaces. There's a lot of similarities from town to town these days.
Yeah, come on in, folks. We're just sitting here. I'm gonna wait to see what's happening. I'm just scouring around to see what else is going on in the news world while I'm sitting here. Don't see much. Anything else breaking? If you know of anything, let us know. For sure. JLR and Magnolia investigates. Downtown. Let me see. Let me see exactly. Yeah, this is literally like downtown. We can't get more downtown than this. Right off of I-65, pretty close where I-65 and I-64 meet. few blocks away from the waterfront.
I wonder if it's impacting any traffic at all.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, you're going to need, it's along Chestnut Street. Let me see. Let me just put directions and see if we can get there.
I mean, they were clearly very far along in this demolition project because the building itself looks like it's pretty much gone. And they probably had a lot of it done because if you go on Google Maps, you can see the building, and it was a pretty massive brick structure. Looks like it was 3 stories plus a basement level brick building. Pretty good size too. But you don't see any of that in this live shot here. So I think they must have been really far along in demolition when this happened.
Doesn't look like Chestnut Street is closed.
Yeah, it's an old jail. The Community Correctional Center, 316 East Chestnut Street. And it was definitely not in use for at least a while.
Actually, Chestnut Street is closed between Floyd Street and Preston.
Cindy in the chat said she had grand jury duty at this jail back in 2003.
Oh, wow. Grand jury.
But that was interesting.
They're still out there, folks. Let me see if we can get any news reports as far as I sent you that one video, Magnolia, with the latest news report. They had a journalist at the scene.
Breaking news right now, live at 6 on WHAS 11 News. The top headlines at the moment, they are making slow progress. And Louisville firefighters are still talking with a trapped construction worker. Their rescue underway, as you see live on our screen. We're bringing you more of our breaking news coverage tonight at 6. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. This is happening at the moment in downtown Louisville, right along East Chestnut Street between Preston and Floyd. WHAS 11's Ian Hardwitt, along with photojournalist Emma Gefter and Aspen Hester, are on the scene. And Ian, we did hear from the Louisville Fire Department with new details about 30 minutes ago. What'd they say?
Doug, Louisville Fire Department and Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg said progress is going well. I'm going to read you exactly what Louisville Fire Department said. They said rescue crews are still actively working on scene. They've made strong progress. They're still in communication with the worker who is trapped underneath the rubble, but they don't know when they're going to be able to pull him out. What I can tell you is that on this scene, a lot of the firefighters are starting to lean in with a little bit of anticipation. And there's a crane. If we look up from above at photojournalist Aspen Hester shot, you'll see it better. That crane was brought in at about 2:30 hours later into this almost 6-hour rescue. They have a gurney attached to the crane now. That could mean they're about to pull this worker up out of the rubble. Earlier, we heard from Louisville Fire Chief on how this rescue operation went. When they showed up, they found 6 workers, that one trapped underneath. Here's what they said.
One of those workers at about 11:40 fell into a void space, and when they fell, a lot of rubble and debris came down on top of them and they were pinned.
So firefighters shored up the mountains of rubble up top to make sure no more fell down. Bucket by bucket, they pulled out more of the demolished building from beneath. It's a precarious job, says Louisville Fire Chief Brian O'Neill.
Because every time you shift anything, that can cause other things to happen within all that debris pile that they're moving to get to this person. The individual that's in there is talking to us. He is Spanish speaking only, but Captain Ramirez from Rescue 11.7 is bilingual and is speaking to him right now.
That person, a contract worker, was demolishing a city-owned property slated to become a park for workers in Louisville's medical district. Paula Bryant has seen the crew working before.
And obviously, falling in a big hole like that, he's going to have some injuries, so we hope that he recovers quickly.
And Chief O'Neill isn't exactly sure what the outcome will be, though he puts faith in the experienced rescuers.
There's no one way that things like this happen.
This has been a challenging week for Louisville Fire Department, for all first responders here in Louisville. Yet another example of the heroism of all of them, and a giant thanks on behalf of the entire city of Louisville to every first responder.
Now, one super important thing to keep in mind here, this building did not collapse. This was a demolition site, a city-owned property that was being turned into a park. Again, there were 6 contract workers working on this. One person still trapped underneath. Medical attention is on standby for when they come out. For now, I'm live in Louisville's medical district with photojournalist Emma Gefter and Aspen Hester. Ian Hardwitt, WHAS, on your side.
All right. What do you think? Any information that you heard?
He said that the crane, they have a gurney attached to the crane that's way up above. So they're anticipating hopefully being able to bring that down and put him on it once they get him out of there.
They're pulling him up on a gurney. Yes? No?
Yeah, they said there's a crane and there's a gurney attached to the crane.
Interesting.
They pulled out and showed a shot of it.
Interesting. What's the worker's name? Name, age. Who's the worker? We'll probably never get that information. See if we can get some new information here. No, I mean, what is this here? No, I have another feed, but it was just in the daytime. But I want to keep it here on live in case they pull this guy out. Quiet. But we are live. I'll pull this guy out or not. Remains to be seen. You could see it live. They pull him out. Assuming it's a he.
Well, they said it is. Yeah. They said it's him.
Well, I don't even want to go that route.
Yeah, I mean, I have to think he must be injured in some way if he's not able to help himself at all. Because they seem to really be struggling to get down there to him. It's been 7 hours since this happened. I think that they said the crews showed up just before noon today.
Susan had an interesting comment. Louisville puts in contracts. If you finish early, you get a bonus. Most hurry to complete the task. Thank you for that comment. You know, yeah, you know, clean it out as quick as you can, you get a bonus. Well, what does that mean? Safety
Well,
at the cost of safety?
yeah, if they're rushing around, they might be taking shortcuts. So the crane is here on the right of the screen, and if you look just to the left of it, you can see that red and white. That's the attachment to the crane. So that's all the stuff that's attached to it. It looks like they're putting that hose back in there.
Yeah, I have it on an additional screen in front of me, a bigger screen, so I'm just watching. It looks like there's maybe like 6 people that are actually doing something and everyone else is standing around watching. No, but kudos to the fire department, man. They're out there. I know it's a tedious task and they have to do their best to make sure this guy's okay and make sure nothing else happens. So you got to be very careful. So what happens if they pull him out? Like, is it just business as usual and back to work tomorrow? Or are they going to have to stop this and look into this? How will
Well,
that work?
it sounds like there were a lot of people, a lot of other workers there when it happened that can explain what happened. I don't know how much investigating they would do, but you know, you got workman's comp and all that stuff to consider too.
Expecting to see some action here. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, Murky Piglet said OSHA will probably go in there and investigate and do a report.
Another thing is too, a comment said, wait until everyone is above ground before you start clapping and cheering. Also a sign that they might have this guy is when they do start clapping and cheering.
Yeah.
That's what they would do. Clapping.
They've had a really long week in Louisville.
I had a very long week. How about you?
Mm-hmm. They're zooming in. What's happening?
What is happening, folks? Did they get him? Yeah, they got him. I'll do some clapping and cheering. People are saying it's getting close now. That's what a lot of comments are saying.
The judge says they won't investigate a demolition. They'll take statements from witnesses, ask questions. Demo projects are not treated like regular construction projects. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, because there were other workers there when this happened that called the emergency in. So they would have been able to explain kind of what happened. But yeah, I mean, it's a demolition site. It's dangerous. Well, they zoomed in really fast, like something was about to happen, and then it just looks like they're kind of just looking down in there right now.
And went back to farther out. But see how everyone's head is like looking down?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Brandon, I don't know if there's video or not, but it wasn't like a building collapse like you think of. It was the building's already mostly demolished. Well, the building itself to me looks like it is demolished, but they're working on getting rid of all this completely, and it seems like something collapsed, maybe the floor collapsed and he fell down because he fell down into this hole.
Oh, what do they got? What are they doing?
Oh my God.
What is
I
that?
think we have him.
They got something?
What are the buckets for?
Think it's getting close, possibly. I'm gonna clap.
Yeah, freak accident. Yeah, it just sounds like because of the demolition that whatever this was unstable, and he just something happened and it buckled and he fell in and a bunch of debris came down with it.
It's gonna be a sign of celebration. Yay! Bring them out. Bring them out. Let's see them. They got flashlights, lights. See the lights on their helmets?
Mm-hmm.
People are saying it looks like he's on the stretcher. I can't see a stretcher. Can you?
No, but I still see that big black hose that they were
Uh-oh.
putting down.
What they got? They pulled something down there on a blue. I saw like a blue cord or something.
Yeah, so it looks like that building is completely demolished already. I think it was just the floor right there was weak or something, and there's a basement. You can see if you look at the building on Google Maps, you can see that first level, it's like halfway underground. That's what he fell down into.
That looks like the only hole there, unless they expanded it out. I don't see any other holes. $10 The story. Underground tunnels under the jail. What if there is tunnels down there? Do you think the construction workers were aware? Sure they were, right? Don't they get the blueprints of the whole building?
Yeah, you would think they would be aware of where they're walking.
Okay, look, they're moving away with a hose. See that? They're pulling the ones down there on the bottom of the screen. Interesting. I don't want to go anywhere, Magnolia. I want to see this guy get pulled out.
Yeah, I keep thinking it'll be any second. Oh, look.
They're all
Okay.
scattered.
I think that is the gurney. Right there. That
Yeah.
yellow boat
Yeah.
looking gurney.
They're taking it down. There it goes. We might be blowing them up shortly. People are saying getting close. Nighttime operation. I mean, this is what firefighters, man. Brave heroes. Until next time, said no tax on overtime. Someone gave a suggestion, Magnolia said, move our StreamYard squares to the top of the screen. What do you think?
I mean, it doesn't, I don't have that choice.
Okay.
We can have them like this, or we can have it like this. Or like this. Or
Yeah.
like this.
I like this.
I mean, if we do it like this, it
Makes it smaller.
We're wanting to see this bottom left corner. That's why. But it makes the video itself smaller. But they are, I mean, we might as well keep it this way because a lot of the stuff they're doing is down here in the very bottom left.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this. And I'm sure these workers are like, hey, we got to get out of here. It's 7:00.
I know. I wonder if they're getting impatient, but I keep seeing them with those buckets. So there must just be a ton of debris down there because they just keep on handing down more buckets and then handing them back out.
They have the gurney on standby. JLR Magnolia investigates. Come on in, folks.
It stopped for a second, but here we go. It's back. Yeah, they just handed down another bucket and another one.
Buck.
Remember the whole incident out there with the nudist camp, the nudist ranch, when the suspect barricaded himself in his basement in his bunker, and they destroyed his house above, and it took them forever to be able to get down in there because of all the debris. They had to clear all that out for a really long time until they could finally get in there, and he eventually surrendered.
I'm just my eyes are on the gurney here. That will be an indicator. I mean, that's where they're putting them on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jedi, that was insane watching them tear that house down. I've never seen anything like that. They just ripped it apart. No, we did see something like that actually. We saw the Moscow 4 demolition was kind of like that, where they use those machines just to rip it apart. Yeah, for the people that are joining, so this is a demolition site. This used to be a jail, that an old jail that they demolished because they're trying to put a park in this area in the middle of Louisville. And one of the construction workers on the demo site somehow fell down into this 10-foot hole. They're calling it a void space. And he fell down in it, and for whatever reason, when he fell down in it, a whole bunch of debris and rubble fell down on top of him. So he's been trapped since 11:40 this morning.
It's also a long time being trapped because getting close to 8 hours trapped, work day. Again, going one of those MRIs and you're confined for 15 minutes and you're like, get me out of here. Imagine 8 hours in a hole.
Yeah, and we don't know exactly why he fell or how he fell. We just know that he fell into a void space, that they're calling it.
Keep in
And
mind,
I'm thinking the floor was maybe weak because of all the demolition they've been doing. Maybe the floor dropped out, or
well, these construction workers are also not miners. So I'm sure these construction workers will never have a thought of being trapped. Like if it was a miner probably have some sort of training to deal with a situation if you're ever trapped. But a construction worker is probably not trained for this to happen to them. You think? I mean, so this is just like you and I or anyone being trapped. How are you going to deal with it? My mind would be like, I'd be having high anxiety. I don't know. Would you be calm? Would you be screaming, get me out of here? I'm sure these workers are telling them, calm down, calm down. We got this. Talk to us. We got this. Just stay calm.
well, there's really nothing he can do but stay calm. I mean,
That's controlling your own emotions.
if you're, yeah, I mean, if he's down there freaking out, that's not gonna make him get out any sooner. So it's one of those situations you just kind of have to.
Particularly if dirt's moving around them, like little rocks falling and dirt.
Mhm.
And he could be in pain. Mouthy mama, correct? He could be in pain. Even something sprained, bruises, broken. You don't know. He might have a broken bone.
Yeah, I hope not. Well, I mean, it seems likely he might have a broken bone or two. Because otherwise, if he wasn't injured, if he didn't have broken bones, he'd probably be able to get up on his own and try to at least help himself, or at least help him get out. But if he's not able to do that, then he must have several injuries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one person. Thank God it wasn't more. I'm claustrophobic. Well, I'm not claustrophobic, but keep somebody confined down there for a while. Is this employee still going to be an employee afterward? Are they going to give him a bonus? They're going to fire him because he messed up. Is this something the employee did?
Well, I think he'll be headed to the hospital
Do we have lawsuits coming out of this?
for a while.
People were saying they have him on oxygen.
Mm.
Mark says they should lower him some cold beer. I mean, could they give him some sort of calming medications to calm him? Or is that why? I mean, you would want to be
Yeah,
alert.
I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could. Suze, he's about 10 feet down. It was a 10-foot hole. Yeah, I think they probably gave him some type of medication. If they can physically reach him.
Water and some energy bars.
Maybe he's watching us on YouTube.
I mean, he could
That's
be
what I'm
totally
saying.
pinned. He could be totally pinned in there.
That's what I'm saying, Rich. Yeah, he's only 10 feet down. So, let me give you the address of this place again so you can look it up on Google Maps. You could see what I'm talking about with this building. It's 316 East Chestnut Street, Louisville, Kentucky. If you look at Google Maps, you can see the building. It's 3 stories and it has a basement. So he would have fallen down into the basement, which, yeah, would only be like 10 feet. And that's what I'm saying. How does it take 8 hours? We're going on 8 hours. It's been 7.5 hours since they got there. There just must be so much debris, and it could be really heavy debris that is labor intensive to get it out of there.
Well, we got somebody going down there. I'm going to count the employees like jelly beans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I count 36 people in the picture. And just this right here. I don't think you can get frostbite in the upper or lower 50s. It's only going up to 40 or going down to 47. Sue says she was counting them too. I was counting the people.
Yeah, they did say it would take a few more hours when they did the press conference. I don't know what time that press conference was, though.
Before it got dark. I think it was around a 5 p.m. press conference. No Eye says the buckets indicate debris is falling every step they take, so they have to deal with that. So you pump out the debris. Very unstable, shaky terrain there. Loose.
Judy said the University of Louisville hospital is only 2 blocks away, and it's a trauma hospital, so he'll be able to get there pretty fast.
Poor guy. Yeah, I mean, this is right here. I mean, this is what it's fire department. These people are doing the best they can under the circumstances, and they have a game plan here, and they're executing the game plan. I'm sure they've trained for this type of stuff before, or got guidance on how to do this. I mean, firefighters, they're firefighters there. I mean, they fires trained to help in people trapped, building collapses. Probably got some professional guidance.
So, Angela, the whole building itself is gone. This used to be a jail, a 3-story jail made of brick, very solid looking building. The building itself was already gone. So it seems like it was the ground might have collapsed, like the floor that would go down into the basement, and that's what happened here. So that part seems like it collapsed and he fell in, and then everything piled on top of probably big heavy chunks of concrete, and we don't even know. There's clearly a lot of debris, though. We've seen them constantly putting buckets down there, bringing buckets out. They've been using this hose pretty much the whole time we've been watching.
I mean, training is also not the real thing. I mean, you can have all the training in the world, but situations in front of you might be different than what you were trained for. So you just have to adjust and do the best scenario to get this situation resolved and get this guy out.
D-Rod, he fell in at about 11:40 this morning.
So, it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 8 hours. Getting close to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the first 2 hours or the first hour would probably be the most traumatizing, and then you maybe get numb to the situation. But I don't know. I mean, as things might be, like you said, the buckets and things falling around him, every single thing that falls, he might get more and more nervous, think he's going to get buried alive. It's probably like a roller coaster of emotions. He's probably thinking about his family. He's thinking about all his memories, praying. I mean, I'm only thinking like what I could think of. Like if I'm just trapped there and you're in a hole and you're looking up and you're seeing all these lights and helmet lights and lights shining down on you and everyone telling you you're okay. And he doesn't even speak English, they say.
Toto said a lot of firefighter companies have special urban search and rescue that specialize in collapses. So, yeah, it seems like they know what they're doing. And I think that those, I don't know this for a fact, but I think those yellow beams right there, they put in place today to stabilize this opening. Because it doesn't look like those poles have been there very long. They look shiny and brand new. I think they put those there to help more stuff from falling in. But yeah, someone else said there's a lot of concrete in jail. So I think that's what a lot of this debris and the sand and dirt is coming from. They can't risk having these other parts fall down on top of them. It's a very precarious situation. Here's a retired firefighter in the chat, says it's called Confined Space Rescue, and they take classes for this. Could you tell how many people are actually down in the hole working?
Yeah, it's a few of them, I think.
I see 2 for sure. Maybe 3. And then everyone else is kind of standing up at the top looking down, and it looks like they're getting ready as soon as they get the word. Another bucket.
Yep. So it probably takes, these beams that they have there. Was that yellow? Are they yellow? What are they? That takes a while to get all that up, right? I mean, that probably take an hour or two to get that situated. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like they could just go in there and just try to pluck them out right away. I mean, I think they have to make sure their own's safe, and they got to make sure it's stabilized. Firefighters got to understand, make sure they don't fall in, know what they're dealing with. Bring him out. Now that hole there looks like where they're at. It looks like what? It's about 6-10 feet deep there. You think?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're saying 10 feet.
He might be under that piece of concrete right there on, the one the slab that we see going down.
Yeah.
It might be like under that. See if I can get some more info. Sure, we'll get a press conference on this one too. The Louisville building. Goes from a plant explosion to a structure collapse.
Yeah, and I think there was also a fire today in Louisville. But I saw something about it earlier and didn't really see much else about it. And then this happened.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Jersey Girl, I'm wondering if he might be, it's hard to tell if he's right there where they're working or if he's trapped behind that big slab you can see. Yeah, Cola Buds, we were talking about baby Jessica earlier. This reminded a lot of us of that. And that took almost 3 entire days to get her out. But I think she was further below because she went down into a well.
Or they coal mine people that got trapped? West Virginia. One of them lost oxygen for an extended period of time. Baby Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
You know, down there in South Florida, there was a condo collapse a few years back. They were digging around trying to find people. Big Branch mine collapse. Yeah. All right, what are they going to do with the gurney? He could be pinned. Yeah, I mean, Gone Catfishing said he's pinned. Freeway collapse of San Francisco. It's another incident. Yeah, I went down to that condo collapse in South Florida after it happened, and there was mad scrambling over there to try to find people.
Mm-hmm.
Surfside. That's when I rolled up on Wolf Blitzer.
When?
In Surfside. Wolf Blitzer was in Surfside.
Mm.
I said, are you going to report the truth? So I said to him, I said, Wolf, you going to report the truth? Yeah, Surfside was pretty bad. It's like 100 people died there. 99 people or something. 100, around 100. Scary thing is, like, we have a lot of infrastructure, bridges. I mean, what did we say, Magnolia? If we ever go over a bridge, we always put our windows down.
Yeah. I always say finger on the button, finger on the button. Be ready.
Be ready when you go across like a bridge. Have your windows rolled down because that bridge collapse. At least you have a chance to get out. Skyway Bridge, St. Pete. I know going up I-95 when you get to Maryland, there's this one, like, before you get to Delaware, there's this like one bridge you go across and it says, be careful of crosswinds. And
The Chesapeake
awesome.
Bridge?
No, it's not the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. It's another bridge right by Cal Ripken's sports complex on I-95, going towards Delaware, right before the Delaware border, Maryland.
Yeah. Well, I hate the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. That's that one, and also the Chesapeake Tunnel is terrifying. It goes underwater.
Yeah, that's the longest one, isn't it?
Yeah, but remember the one in Baltimore that not that long ago in the Inner Harbor, they had that bridge that collapsed.
Yeah, it was nighttime. There was not a lot of people. Didn't happen at night, right? A lot of, like, really early in the morning or night.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was one of those things that we kind of woke up to one day. Yeah, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge is scary. I can't stand it. Well, and the other thing about bridges, they're not maintained. They're not.
That's what I'm saying. We have so much
Most of them
critical.
are not. they're
We have
not
so much
they're not
infrastructure
proactive.
and bridges and roads and overpasses and everything like that's just been around for 50 years. I mean, at one point, how long did they last? It always makes me wonder. I'm not saying I just go under every bridge and get paranoid. But I can tell you, remember we were driving through Kentucky after Joseph Couch, and I'm looking around the mountains hoping nobody shoots me in my car.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Who do you expect is someone to shoot you on the side of the road? A sniper. While you're driving. Never expect that. But now you got to be like, oh my God, I got to look to my right and left.
Angela said that tunnel that goes under the Chesapeake Tunnel has leaks. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, what happens if you have a big wreck inside that tunnel and the walls of the tunnel
I can't even imagine that.
into the walls of the tunnel? I mean, that's it. That's like, what are you going to do? I had to drive on that. I had to drive through that once, and I didn't want anything to do with it.
They're tying something there. I'm looking at the video. I got a separate screen, so I'm looking to the right or the left of you guys. I'm like surrounded by a command center here. I have computers on both sides of me.
That's crazy, Kimmy. Silver Bridge.
I mean, some people from 9/11 were trapped in rubble. Some people lived, a few.
Oh, I think the one you might have been talking about is the Delaware Memorial Bridge.
Yeah, I think so.
That you said has crosswind signs.
Yes. It's up on a hill, like the river is far below. Yeah, yeah, it's probably it. Let me just look on the Google Maps.
Yeah, Tiny Dancer. So this is a worker. Basically, this is a demolished. This was an old jail that they were doing demolition, and they got rid of the building itself, but for some reason, one of the workers today fell into this hole. He fell down into this hole. Something happened. We don't know what actually triggered this to happen. We just know he fell into this hole, and then all this debris and rubble just piled in on top of him. And they've been working almost 8 hours now to get everything cleared out so they can get to him.
The bridge is not the Delaware Memorial Bridge. It's the Miller Tidings Memorial Bridge that crosses over the Susquehanna River. Almost before you get to Delaware. It's really high up. Are we like frozen?
Yeah, it freezes every once in a while.
All right, let me see. Let me get something here. There we go.
Yeah, Crystal, they said they were able to communicate with him. So, yes, last we heard, he is alive. They were able to, he doesn't speak English, but they had an officer that is bilingual that was able to communicate with him. But we don't really know anything beyond that. We don't know what condition he's in or anything, just that he's trapped.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. I'm wearing the JLR shirt tonight. I see it on the screen. JLR merch. Get your JLR merch. Doing a couple things today. Storm chasing. Talking about FEMA. Talking about border stuff. A couple other cases that we're looking into. We'll probably I don't know how long this goes on tonight, but we had a couple other topics we wanted to get into the pipeline tonight, but we'll do that tomorrow. You know, every day we're bringing fresh new content and fresh new stories and interesting, compelling things out there.
Here's a feed that Judy told me about. Thank you, Judy.
Yeah, so we can keep switching feeds. All right, so this gives you more of a close-up look. Wave. What is wave? Where's your coffee mug? Coffee mug's right here. Got to get a coffee mug. Medium.
Yeah, we actually ordered new mugs the other day.
Yeah, we ordered ourselves a bunch of new merch.
Yeah, we ordered some new mugs, some fresh new sweatshirts, things like that.
Wow, what a scene.
Well, it's time for the Christmas stuff now again, too. We have the Christmas hoodies, the Christmas mugs. Actually, I ordered one of the long sleeve Christmas shirts. So it's not like a sweatshirt, it's like a long sleeve t-shirt material. And we have the little ornament, the JLR Investigates ornament for your tree. It's cute. Yeah.
We had a busy month last month. Last month was really busy. I mean, we were jumping all over the place on so many different cases. Like we were doing a lot of travel. I mean, we probably traveled last month, maybe like 3 weeks out of the month, correct? Like a lot. But in the last couple of weeks, there were really like there's really nothing like, I mean, there's stories, there's always things going on. There's always things you can bring awareness to. We kind of been just we have a lot of things going on though. A lot of domestic things and cleaning up the house and catching up on things back home. No manhunts lately. Fortunately, there's a lot of missing people that continue to be missing that don't get the attention that they deserve. But we haven't really seen any like large scale mass searches for anyone, grid searches and things like that to help and assist in any way.
This is crazy.
We got a new puppy.
So he's way down in there, I guess.
I think he's trapped. I mean, like,
Well, how in the world are they going to get him out of there?
They gotta have to dig around him or make like a hole, and at the same time, maybe put little beams around the hole. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, you notice the press conference, he wasn't guaranteeing that this guy's going to come out alive. Michael said covering deportation operations should be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting to see how that all works. I mean, that's a topic that a lot of people are paying attention to.
Yeah, this looks like a mess. I don't see how they're going to get him out of there now that I'm seeing this close-up shot.
Scary if we're still here tomorrow morning.
Do you think the rescue workers are nervous?
Everyone's human. Everyone has emotions.
There goes another bucket. Yeah, Murky, this is crazy.
Monitoring a hurricane. Possible. Matter of fact, let me go see what the latest is on that. All these spaghetti models literally have this thing like pretty close to here. Though probably a little bit farther north. But that would be a bad way, you know. I mean, if it's up with Cat 1, it could still bring 3 to 5 feet of storm surge in the Tampa Bay area if it goes to the north. Poor guy.
Looks like there's 5 workers down there. 1, 2, 3. No, 6.
Who gets chosen to do that? The most qualified person, most experienced person for this job.
Well, they may have to rotate each other in and out. Yeah, Tiny Dancer, somebody said earlier that they were giving him oxygen. Yeah, Pam, they've been talking to him. They were able to communicate with him during this. But they haven't really said anything else. They just said that really all they said was that he does not speak English, so they had a bilingual officer that was able to talk to him, but we don't know anything really beyond that.
I thought maybe like 30 minutes ago that we were coming to the ending of this, but it seems like this could be going on for a while before anything. I mean, scary, man.
All right, so I got an update just from just this minute. The Courier Journal did an update. They're saying no timeline known as efforts to rescue man trapped in debris at LUMED demo site continue.
Crazy. No
So they're
time.
calling this a demolition accident and this is the Phoenix Hill neighborhood of Louisville. So they said they've made strong progress on efforts to remove the man. They're in continuous communication with him. Let's see, an updated estimate on how long the process could take was not provided. I think we covered everything else. Yeah, and it says the extent of the man's injuries is unknown. Once enough debris is cleared to safely assess him, first responders will begin administering medical care. They said this is a very, very slow process. So this may take another hour or 3. That's what they said on that press conference we played. And at the time, it was around 5 something. So it's been more than 2 hours since he said that.
Wow.
Who is this talking? Louisville Fire Chief Brian O'Neill. He said, the process is tedious because as the debris is removed, additional measures have to be taken to ensure that more debris doesn't plummet down. You tip one side, then something happens on the other side. You have to be very cautious. But he says that they have very highly skilled people working on it.
Well, I mean, it still seems like you should remain optimistic. Hope for the best and put trust in these fire officials to get the job done. I mean, you get oxygen, food, and water. He can live a long time. It's uncomfortable, but he could probably live a long time. If he has any broken bones, I mean, if you just don't move, are you okay? Like if you have a broken ankle or broken leg, but you remain just like don't move. I mean, is that okay? I mean,
Well,
I haven't heard
yeah,
anything about internal bleeding or bleeding.
he's not going to, it seems like he's not able to move at all.
Uncle, thank you. What's with those 350 trucks in Michigan? Michigan trucks? A lot of people in the chat were talking about Michigan trucks. What's up with that? Let's look.
There's 350 FEMA trailers that have been set up in Michigan. The trailers are for workers. They're going to stage there for some type of emergency response. We don't know what the response, we don't know the nature of it. Oh my gosh, it's so weird. I was just talking about the Nudist Ranch people, and the Daily Mail just posted an update about it.
Saying what?
I'm looking to see what's new.
FEMA, if these trucks in Michigan, I mean, I know that FEMA is under investigation in Florida, a criminal investigation by the Attorney General of Florida, plus congressional members from Florida are demanding FEMA provide answers about their handling of Hurricane Milton and discrimination prior storms. We'll see what happens out of that. I mean, is the FEMA trucks in Michigan legit? Or is this just some conspiracy stuff? I mean, talk to me. Have people
It's
actually
like, it's some sort of conspiracy right now. There was a press conference about it. Well, one of the I guess one of the city leaders near there addressed it, and he said, well, whenever FEMA sets up any type of sites, they always bring in those trailers, and that's where the workers stay. So usually when you see a lot of those trailers, it's actually like they have bunk beds and things inside there, and it's where the
kind of what we
workers.
saw in St. Pete?
Yeah, so they're saying that it's basically they're setting it up there. We don't know why that particular area was chosen, but a lot of people have been talking about
Why Michigan though? Like
the
not
only
why
thing
not somewhere like centered in the center of
the
the
only
United
thing I
States
know
if it's a
about
staging ground?
the only thing I know about Michigan is the water crisis.
The water crisis in Asheville right now. They still don't got clean drinking water in Asheville, North Carolina. Remember that we were there? The water was so brown, couldn't even
Yep.
drink it. It's horrible. I actually got a headache from taking a shower in that water.
Yeah, it was pretty dicey. Like the toilet water was brown. It was disgusting.
They're still on a boil water advisory there, I believe.
Yeah, they said it would take I think they said it would take a few months actually. And I mean, who even really knows? Because like that situation with Flint, Michigan, the water there, I don't think that's ever been fully resolved, has it? That's
Now
been
we don't.
going
Yeah,
like more than 10 years or something. I
I think
don't
the
know how long.
residents of Palestine, East Palestine, are also dealing with water issues too. Soil contamination, water issues. I felt weird going around East Palestine too. I just felt like after you walk around there, you just feel dirty. You feel like you gotta decontaminate yourself.
Well, yeah, and
You're
those
just itching. You feel weird. You just feel weird. I don't know if it's psychological. It's still going on, folks. We're just monitoring here. None of them are wearing masks, though. And when I say masks, like masks so they don't breathe at whatever's in there, or whatever stuff's around. I see everyone with open faces. We could be in here for a very long time. Documenting the cleanup efforts. They're cleaning up debris as they're trying to rescue this guy. Who is he? So I'm getting 9/11 vibes here, at the World Trade Center.
Mhm.
So that picture you sent me, Magnolia, I mean, it looks like he's under the concrete there.
Yeah, you can see where, so people can see this opening. You can see that's like the floor. There's like a hole. He fell down into it. And so, yeah, I'm wondering if he's kind of like underneath this part that's overhanging a little bit. Johnny said, get the coffee going. It might be a long night.
I'm about to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, Lori, we've been watching this unfold for a while now, like a little over 2 hours. So a worker fell into a 10-foot hole at this demolition site. Some sort of, we don't know why. We don't know why. It's like the ground under him collapsed, maybe. The floor of the building that they were demolishing collapsed. He fell down in. And they've been working 8 hours now. It's been 8 hours since emergency showed up. So they're trying to rescue him, but he's okay. He's alive. He's in communication with the rescue workers. We don't know what his injuries might be, though. Yeah, Ruth, that was baby Jessica. We were talking about that at the beginning. She was in the well over 50 hours, almost 3 days. It was like 58 hours. She was 18 months old.
Maybe the police should give another update. What do you think? But I mean, what can you give an update on? Just give an update that you're just continue to digging and pulling them out.
Well, he said at around 5 something, he said it'll take at least another hour or 3. So he was estimating 3 hours would put us into the 8 o'clock hour, which we're coming up on.
Man, these clocks being set back, man, makes me feel like it's later than it really is. It's not even 8 o'clock. I swear it feels like it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Or at least 9. Also, folks, a big cold front's coming through next week. The entire nation's going to be like literally lows below freezing. Big Arctic blast is coming through. Winter is here almost. Thanksgiving's coming.
Yeah, Ghost, I'm talking about 8 o'clock Eastern.
Let's go to Alaska, Magnolia, December 21st.
What's happening there?
Is it that when it's the darkest day of the year and up there in Barrow area, probably like 23 hours of darkness? I actually wanted to go up there in the summertime when it's almost light. Some states don't have daylight savings time. Some areas.
Only Arizona, as far as I know. That's the only one that doesn't.
I think Indiana too.
There might be one other place, but Arizona as a state does not participate. So we're actually only 2 hours ahead of Arizona right now.
Hawaii and parts of Arizona do not participate. Yeah, I was wrong about Indiana. I thought Indiana. I thought at one point Indiana.
Well, I mean, as far as like the 48, states together, yeah, Arizona is the only one. I don't know what Hawaii does. Hawaii's time is way, way off from ours.
Thank you, Crystal. We're just waiting to see what happens here. I do want to see this guy get pulled out alive. Bet you they're all hungry. I'm hungry. JLR Magnolia investigates. This is the scene right now. It's live footage. So anything that we see is raw. Viewer discretion is advised. I mean, it just looks like a lot of rocks. They gotta vacuum all those rocks out. Are you there, Magnolia?
Yeah.
Guy fell down through the basement, most likely. What's for dinner? What's everyone having for dinner tonight? Some of you guys are
Solitary. He's probably
yeah,
down
right
in there.
thrown into a solitary cell in the basement. A lot of these old jails, that's where your solitary was, in the basement. People are having pizza, salmon, Burger King, honey ham, French
Toto's
toast
having
and bacon,
spaghetti, garlic bread.
lasagna, chicken and rice, ice cream, beef stew, pizza, toast and veg. You guys have some good food out there. Potato soup, fajitas. I love fajitas. Pinto beans and cornbread, ice cream for dinner, Chinese, chili. Yeah, you guys, barbecue, homemade chili. You guys are eating well out there.
Yeah.
Stay hungry, my friends. Look at that. Look at all that, Magnolia.
Yeah.
Even peanut butter and jelly. Hey. Shrimp stir fry, chicken pot pie, Long John Silver's, Jersey Mike's, chili, popcorn, donuts.
Oh, that sounds good. Flyinderwall said her daughter's making steak bites with cilantro, lime, rice, and veggies. Wow.
Nice. I like that barbecue when we're traveling. I like barbecue. Barbecue's good. Like Kentucky barbecue, Arkansas barbecue, Tennessee barbecue, Popeyes, White Castle sliders. Wow. They still got the White Castle 20-cent hamburgers. In-N-Out burger. I like In-N-Out.
Who has In-N-Out?
Somebody said, Mike Kelly said In-N-Out.
Really?
With onion and a strawberry shake.
That's what I want.
In-N-Out burgers. They're pretty good. Fried fish. Chick-fil-A. Love me some Chick-fil-A. Leftover roast. Venison. Big Grumpy says he's eating deer meat. Wow. Lean cuisine. Remember Lean Cuisines? They
Yep.
still got them. I remember Lean Cuisines.
Jayco's having a pan of brownies.
Pan of brownies for dinner? Tamales, hamburgers, grits. Anybody fasting? Does anyone not eat dinner? Some people fast and only eat like one meal a day. Is anyone skipping dinner tonight?
Well, I guess we are.
I know, right? We're covering this. Making me hungry.
Some people are fancy.
Rebecca says she doesn't eat dinner. Dang, I knew there were some that didn't eat dinner. Some eat dinner like lunch, and that's it. Ramen soups.
Yeah, Mike, I cook fairly often. Actually, I'm doing Thanksgiving dinner this year. So that's my favorite thing to cook. I was gonna make tortillas tonight.
Spaghetti meatballs and strawberry cheesecake. Dude, I like Wawa food. Literally. I like
Yeah, I'm
Wawa
getting
hamburgers. I like Wawa fries. I like Wawa
tired of Wawa.
quesadillas. I like Wawa beef cheesesteaks. I like Wawa chicken cheesesteaks. I like Wawa turkey gobblers. I like Wawa roast beef sandwiches. Sheets. Always the argument. What's better, Wawa or Sheets in Pennsylvania? The battle of the state.
Sheets.
Sheets is pretty good. We were Sheets was in Springfield, Ohio, right? We were eating some Sheets. They had a hamburger that was like a pretzel burger at Sheets. Craving Golden Corral. You know, one time for Thanksgiving, I just go to the Golden Corral. I used to do that a few times. You don't have to clean, you don't have to cook. Go to the Golden Corral. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I've been there probably 3 different times for Thanksgiving. I mean, it's good when you're traveling a lot and you can't get home for Thanksgiving. Golden Corral is always there for you.
I think they're open Christmas too, aren't they?
I think so.
Crackle Barrel. I don't really like the Crackle Barrel. I think it's a little bland. I like Crackle Barrel breakfast, pretty good. I'm not a fan of their country dinners. Shady Maple. Oh my gosh, somebody said Shady Maple up in the chat. Lori said Shady Maple. Yes, Pennsylvania. I love Shady Maple. Amish country. Shady Maple. You ever been there?
I don't know, but I'm starting to think we need to have a JLR Army potluck
Potluck dinner.
with all these dishes people are making on a Thursday night. People are going ham in the kitchen tonight.
Aaron said, what did you say? Crackle Barrel? Like crackle? Cracker Barrel. Did I say crackle?
Yeah, you always say crackle.
Crackle Barrel. Why did I say crackle?
Homemade queso and chips. Yum.
Texas Roadhouse is all right. Longhorn's good. Longhorn got kind of expensive. They got kind of like, I don't know.
What did?
Longhorn.
Longhorn's always been expensive.
I think you get more bang on your
It's
buck
not-
on the steak at Texas Roadhouse, I think.
It's not really, but it's not expensive compared to like Ruth's Chris or something like that. It's
I'd rather-
probably, it's like upper mid price range.
Texas Roadhouse, they got all the peanuts all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just eat peanuts and throw it on the floor. How sanitary. Throw your peanuts all over the floor. Oh, Magnolia and I once ate in Spring, or where were we at in Ohio, where we walked into a Waffle House and literally the waitress looked at us and stared at us and didn't even serve us for 20 minutes. And we just
Well, I
walked
think
out and left. She's
think
like, I'll
that
be
was-
right back. I'll be right with you. And then nothing. And she just kept looking at us and nothing.
I think it was in Springfield, actually.
Crazy Nurse, thank you. She says this covers half of delivery tonight. Yeah, we'll probably get something later. Thank you, Crazy Nurse.
Yeah, so I'll do a turkey, and I like to make stuffing by hand, like handmade, and then like actually stuff it in the turkey. And then I'll do like a probably broccoli, cauliflower, cheese casserole, green bean casserole. What else? Probably some type of bread. Oh yeah, and gravy. Yeah, so Jessica said that's her favorite thing. Yeah, so I'll take the turkey out and use the turkey drippings to make gravy. I learned a lot of my Thanksgiving from when I lived in Pennsylvania. I had some relatives in Pennsylvania that I learned a lot about cooking in general. Lots of
Man, I
different-
tell you, if you haven't eaten yet, you're probably getting hungry.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you ate and you're just like, but if you haven't eaten, you're hearing all this food. Look in the chat. Like everyone's like just listing foods, yummy foods.
Hey, crazy nurse. Thank you.
So yeah, folks, but on a serious note, we are waiting to see what happens here. This is Louisville, downtown, Chestnut Street, 300 block of Chestnut Street, the old correctional center, the jail. A man is trapped, been trapped there since 11:40 a.m. And fire rescues there at the scene. Looks like about 50 of them total. You expand it out. There's more that you can't see right there, and trying to get this guy out. This guy doesn't speak English. That's what they said. So they have a translator there. He's a construction worker, and apparently he fell 10 to 12 feet. We don't know the extent of his injuries. We don't know his name. Mayor was on the scene earlier, gave an update. Fire chief was there.
Yeah. Yes, definitely mashed potatoes. Somebody asked what kind of stuffing. So, like, literally, what I'll do is take a loaf of bread, sliced up, and lay it out overnight so the bread gets dried out, and then cut it all up, and then you melt some butter on there. I'll cut up like a whole onion, salt and pepper, mix it all in there, and stuff it inside the turkey. It's the best. Yeah, potatoes. I forgot. That's the one thing I forgot. Yeah, mashed potatoes, 100%.
It's crazy. We're talking about food while someone's being rescued.
I hope he's not watching our YouTube. It'll make him even hungrier.
They're giving him food. They're hydrating them.
Yeah, there's a difference between stuffing and dressing. So stuffing is bread and dressing is made of cornbread. Now, my mom used to make cornbread dressing and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. But once I learned the recipe for my stuffing, I pretty much never went back. I do like cornbread dressing. I just don't, that's just not the one that I do. Yeah, cooking's fun. I go through phases where I always want to cook. Yeah, cornbread is good. Hash brown casserole with hamburger and cheese. That sounds good. That's gluten free. Rio is, I actually couldn't find him a minute ago because he likes to go way up underneath the covers and you can't tell he's there because he's so tiny. But he's pretty much laid out right now, sleeping. OJ's starting to come around him a little bit more. We're not really forcing the issue. We're kind of letting them get to know each other however they want to do that. The vet told us just to let it happen naturally, so we're not really forcing the issue.
Getting a little impatient here, you think?
Yeah. Oh, and Rio's 10 weeks now. He was 10 weeks yesterday. He was 1.7 pounds at the vet last week, and we'll go back. We have to go back next week because he already had some shots before we got him, and so he couldn't get there are certain shots he still has to get. He's got to get like Bordetella and stuff like that, lepto. But they wanted us to come back next week. So we'll see how much he grew in 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know if people are familiar with Western Pennsylvania, like northwestern Pennsylvania, but I had a relative there that we went to their house every year for Thanksgiving, and it's like a style of cooking that's very different than other places I've been. I grew up in the South, but my mom was a terrible cook. There was like certain things that she made all the time, but none of it was very good. So,
Not much
yes,
information, new information out. I'm looking, but I continue to update.
yes, Priscilla. So that's correct. So stuffing is what you put inside the turkey, and it's made usually it's bread based, and then the dressing is baked like its own dish with cornbread base. OJ just seemed kind of at first she seemed kind of suspicious of Rio, but then she's gets a little more curious by the day.
See how all their heads now are looking down?
Mm-hmm.
They got the gurney on standby. See, man. This is going to turn into an all-night gig? Hey, did they ever catch the monkeys?
I heard that there's still, I think they said there's 8 monkeys that are still on the loose out of 43. And they're trying to give them treats. They're trying to entice them with treats. Brian and Tim posted about it earlier.
All right, so 35 have been recovered. Okay, I just Googled. But they sent them right back to that lab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Luke, we're not really sure why there was a collapse, but they had been in the process of demolition and the building itself is gone, but clearly there was a weak spot here on the floor of what would have been the ground level, and somehow this worker, it collapsed underneath him and he fell in. But we just don't know like what triggered it. Yeah, Karen, that's what it was. They're trying to entice them with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's how they're trying to get the monkeys back.
Guy probably just fell through a trap door, like, or just, through a hole. Sucks. I mean, there has to be like an additional something below, basement or something. Maybe the workers weren't notified of that. Did the worker there follow protocol or not? Or was there no protocol? Who's at fault here? Is anyone at fault? Or is this just a terrible accident? The way I'm seeing it, and the way I'm seeing some of this daytime footage, it's like he's under that slab.
Mm-hmm.
No, they said he's alive. He's not dead. Somebody in the comments said he's dead.
No, they've been talking to him the whole time.
Michael said he could have been down there for a gas line or water line. Miss Ann Horn says you could bet OSHA will be there, if not already now. OSHA. JLR Magnolia Investigates. Come on in. We're monitoring this situation. And man is trapped. Feels like we're going to be an all-nighter like we were doing election night, huh, Magnolia?
Well, I mean, hopefully they'll get him soon. It didn't sound like they were expecting it to be all night, but they could have run into more issues that are making it take longer, because he did around 5 o'clock. He estimated it would take between 1 and 3 hours longer, and we are at the 3 hours from his estimate. So it seems like maybe it's taking a little bit longer. Maybe it's a little bit more complicated than they thought.
Yeah. Ran into loose gravel, loose things that they have to secure up or get out with that vacuum. And sometimes things don't go as planned. Let's see. I want to switch that other feed for a little bit, Magnolia. It got more of a zoomed in shot. Kind of keep it switch up a little bit. We got a few feeds here. Some of the workers there got short sleeve shirts.
Yeah, I don't think it's that cold there.
53.
Isn't it in the 50s?
Yeah. What's going on here? What we got? Who's coming out? Could be getting close. Lights and machinery get hot too. What do we got? Is he coming out?
Did they put the gurney down there yet?
I don't know. I'm assuming possible.
Well, because I saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw it a few minutes ago up here.
I mean, they're all leaning over like they're about to see something.
Well, and you can see this green, that green rope he's holding on to. It looks like they may be connecting it, because before you could see the yellow gurney over here on the right side of the screen. Oh, here it is. That's what I was talking about. Okay, so that's it right there. They just moved it. So it's not down there yet.
But they're preparing. I think they're in their final. I mean, we always said that before. I mean, they're in their final stages. I think they're getting close. Bring them up. What's that? They got him? They got him. No?
Is that him?
That's him. They got him, right?
Whoa.
He's out.
So they didn't even need to put that down there. They
got him.
So those ropes that they
I
had.
think that's him.
Wow. Yeah, so the ropes that we were looking at were ropes probably attached to him, and they pulled him up with those ropes.
Amen. Awesome. Looks like they got him. Yeah.
Hooray!
They got him. He's alive. That is awesome. Let me see something here. We got a rescue, folks. He's out. Looks like he's out. They're all going away. Let's see if we can see him. He's being tended to on the ground there. You can see in the middle. There you go.
Awesome.
Good job.
Got him.
Hopefully he's okay.
Aw.
Oh man, he looks like he's bleeding.
No, I think that's a helmet. That's
Okay.
a helmet head. That took me a minute. Yeah, he's wearing a helmet like the ones they're wearing.
Got him. Good job, first responders. Yes.
A hard hat. Yeah, hard hat.
He's rescued. So they're pulling him out of the area there.
And then someone in the chat earlier said that the trauma hospital is only 2 blocks away. University of Louisville Hospital is a trauma center.
We'll try to get some information. We'll just keep it on Magnolia because they'll probably give an update to say something. Let me go on Twitter and make sure. Good job. It's awesome.
Yeah, they did a good job. Took about 7.5 hours. Eight hours. Yeah, I guess it was more like 8, right at 8 hours to get him. What are they going to do? Just wheel him down the street? Oh, yeah, and I don't think they have to go very far.
They're putting him in the ambulance. Awesome job, man.
He's awake.
He's awake, but he's not.
He's moving his head.
So he's not paralyzed. I mean, he's moving his neck and head. I saw his legs move too.
Oh
No,
my
they're
God,
not treating him like he's paralyzed.
Yeah, Mike, I remember that, Ann Hesh. That was insane. Well, they had him wrapped up in blankets and really strapped onto that thing. They probably don't want him to move much because they don't know really the extent of his injuries yet.
His body could be in shock. All right, let me see if
Yeah, Mary, I thought it looked like he was moving his hands too, but I wasn't positive. Yeah, Crazy Nurse said he's not supposed to be moving at all. He should have a neck collar on. Yeah, I think they really had him strapped in there so that he couldn't really move much. So it's hard to tell.
So Louisville Fire Department put out media briefing in same location as earlier today in front of the old Louisville Public Hospital on East Chestnut. So they're going to have a press conference shortly. We'll hopefully we can get that on a feed. Press conference coming out. Let's see if we can is that reporter Magnolia? We're gonna see if we can get a media briefing.
No, Mary, there was one person trapped and they just got him out after 8 hours.
Trapped out. Literally fell in the hole of a jail. Now they all can get something hot and good to eat.
Yeah, he fell in the shoe.
We're gonna get some information shortly, hopefully. Good outcome though. What's that, like a group debriefing? Group prayer?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a group prayer. Let's see here. So is that the same ambulance? They didn't take it away yet?
Oh yeah, I guess they haven't moved it yet.
So that's a good sign too.
Yeah, I mean the good news is he didn't really fall that far. It's imagine if you have a basement in your house and your floor collapses and you fall to the floor of the basement. I mean, that's as far as he fell. But he was surrounded in debris, covered.
Yeah, that feed I sent you, Magnolia, ended. So we're gonna see if we can get it down to the media briefing. All right, it's moving. It's out of there. He'll go to nearby hospital. Hopefully reunite with his friends and family. All right. Blow us up, Magnolia. All right, folks. So I'm looking to see if there's any additional feeds. Do you see anything else, Magnolia? I don't see a additional feed here about it. All the live streams went off. So we'll do a follow-up on this story, but I haven't seen what do you think, Magnolia?
Yeah, I think they'll have a presser in a little bit once they get everything together. I think it'll probably be pretty soon.
Yeah. So we're gonna sign off. Glad that he's rescued. We'll get a more understanding of the situation, and then yeah, we'll find maybe we'll get the little backstory or try to get more understanding of what happened here.
Yeah, and we'll find out what his injuries actually were. But I mean, it was good news that he was alert, he was awake, he was moving his head. He looked almost a little impatient even, so that's a good sign. He's like ready to get to the hospital and get checked out. So that was great news.
Great news. All right, folks. JLR Magnolia Investigates. Thanks for spending the time with us this evening. Always like those good stories.
Yep.
It's like those rescues. Kudos to the fire department, Louisville personnel, everyone out there that saved this man's life. Very, very brave individuals out there. Heroes.
Yep, they did a great job.
All right, folks. We'll talk later. JLR Magnolia Investigates. Thanks for watching. Good night, everyone.
All right, have a good night.